Yep.
Okay, well, I'm sure that most people in here know what Alcoholics Anonymous is because, like, in high schools and health classes and things like that, that's what you learn. You learn, like, how to fix your problem with drinking. But, like, what high school classes don't realize is that the people that are involved, there's people involved that aren't necessarily drinking. Like, for me, it's like you have alcoholic parents, but people don't tell you that you're not alone and that you're not, like, there's nothing out there for you. They don't let you know that there is something out there for you. So basically, I'm going to start with a quote, actually. And it's, "If I can accept the situation, I have the power to better my outlook and improve things for myself and possibly for others." And that's a quote from the Living Today in Alateen book. It's one of the daily reading books they give you. And so today I'm going to awaken you to the program of Alateen and Al-Anon, and hope that someone in here will need to hear this. So yeah, so some background information. That is, her name's Lois W. She's the wife of the guy who started Alcoholics Anonymous, actually. And the original AA and Al-Anon meetings were in that house right there. And basically, back then, it was Alcoholics Anonymous started in the 50s, and so did Al-Anon. And most families at the time only had one car, so what would happen is a wife would come and drop her husband off at Alcoholics Anonymous, and they'd go in and talk, and they'd just wait outside for an hour, hour and a half. And one day Lois realized that she could invite them in and they could talk about what they go through and, like, try to improve themselves. So that's how Al-Anon started. And basically Al-Anon it's a fellowship of people who are affected by alcoholism, and they're mainly adults. And Alateen's the same thing, except it's made for teenagers, and it's just so you wouldn't have a 13-year-old comparing his daily problems with a 50-year-old. It's just not, like, it doesn't work well. So they don't know exactly when Alateen started because the first meetings were not actually official meetings, but the first official meetings were in the late 60s sometime. And just to answer, like, what is Alateen a little more, Alateen is for the teenagers, and you can start going to Alateen when you're 12, but a lot of people start like 10 or 11, but they have to be, like, voted into the meeting. And Al-Anon, like I said, is you go there when you're older. Most people start around 18 or 19, but you can stay in Alateen until your 21st birthday. And one of the things that Alateens like to do is they have these meeting sponsors, which are technically, like, it's like a church leader. And what they do is they're in the room at all times, and a meeting is not official if there's no Alateen sponsor in there. And if you have a meeting without one, you could actually get in a lot of trouble with World Service because they hate Alateens. And so basically what World Service is they pass down rules as to what you need to do to become a meeting sponsor and what can and can't be done at Alateen events. Like, they kind of make the rules for us, and so there's meetings for that, like, every 4 times a year or so. And basically with Alateen, they have mainly the same idea as AA, in the sense, like, if you guys know what the 12 steps or the 12 traditions are. The 12 steps of Alateen, I'm not going to go into each individual one because it takes forever, but here's what they are. The 12 steps are designed to, you go over it with what's called your personal sponsor, and this is also something brought from AA. And it's a person that you trust and you're going to confide in. And the 12 steps are, you go through them individually with your sponsor, and it takes like 6 months to a year usually. And it's the process that an Alateen takes to forgive their alcoholic and try to achieve happiness and even get to the point of rebuilding a relationship with them. And the 12 traditions they're the guidelines of what can and can't be done in an Alateen meeting or, like, outside of a meeting altogether, and they'll keep us running. Like, the main one is the 7 tradition, which says every group ought to be fully self-supporting, declining outside contributions. And that's one of the things I really liked about Alateen, because for Alateen to work, it's ran by us, and we, like the teenagers themselves, have to make everything happen. And we have to donate the money ourselves, and we have to pay the rent ourselves. And I mean, we get donations from Al-Anon and Alcoholics Anonymous because they're all together, but it's a fully self-supporting thing, so we have to do everything ourselves. And basically, like, I feel like Alateen is a very special program to me, so I just want to give a few reasons why. The first one is known as anonymity, and basically the way it's explained in Alateen mainly is that it's like Vegas. And like what you say in a room, what happens in the Alateen rooms in the meetings will be held in confidence, and you don't have to worry about, like, if you're saying, my dad did this and I hate my dad, no one's going to go find your dad and say that you hate him. Yeah. It's just like it's a completely like secret room, and everything that's said in there stays in there. And everyone is the same age, around between 12 and 20, and it just really helps in relating better, and you feel more comfortable to say what you need to say. And I'm personally a religious person, but you don't have to be religious at all. It's actually non-religious. Like, it is, you're supposed to have a higher power, but it doesn't have to be a religion. Like, some people I've heard say that it's like the person they want to be. It's just something that it's what you strive for, and like what powers you to do what you do. And the other one is unconditional love, and this picture's hard to explain, but I'll try. So it's hard to see too. Can someone turn off the, yeah. So basically, this was at an event last year, our Halloween event, and in the middle there somewhere, there's a girl in a wheelchair who had broken her pelvis in a car accident a couple months before, and the stairs were really steep. So, like the Fort Bigger guys, if you recognize that sexy beast right there. We carried her down the stairs so she could get there, and I mean, I wouldn't have trusted us, but she did, and we managed to get her down there without dropping it. And so that's that, and just a little bit of information about Alateen. This website here, I'll try to get to it really fast. Yeah, it looks like it's not going to download. So that's the big Alateen conference. It's set for last year's, so this was like the theme colors last year. But basically, you go on here, and it'll tell you where like events are and stuff like that, and you can make donations if you're in Alateen and to register for the conference. And it'll be set to next year's theme within a couple months, but we haven't gotten to it yet. And this one here is the Orange County Al-Anon website. It has like a bunch of stuff you need to know, and this is where you can go to get literature and stuff, and the books if you want to learn more. And they have a meeting directory right here, and you can just click on it, like whatever day it is, you click on it, and it'll tell you where a meeting is if you want to go to an Alateen meeting. And the last thing for information, it's not on there, but if you guys need it, you can talk to me, because I'm like co-chair for a couple of committees, and I'm technically an expert on this subject. So that's basically it. So thank you guys.
Skylar, what did you think?
First, I thought it was like you had a really good intro. Like personally, I could relate to your subject because I've been to an AA meeting for a school project. So I really, like I could really tell you knew what you were talking about because you were really involved. Yeah, like the strong points were like you really knew like what you were talking about, and obviously because you weren't reading from like your notes or anything like that, you were showing the picture of the lady that the founder of it, and just the historical background, it was really strong, and the whole ideas of Alateen and the AA. And I really liked your personal story with the picture describing like what happened to the girl in the wheelchair. And it kind of gave us, like the audience, an idea of like what really does go on because you really knew your subject and the topic, instead of this website said this is what's happening at the meetings. So that was really, really strong. And then the part that I thought